Hey guys, Barry at CTech-review. I told you guys I'd give you guys updates when I see something that caught me off guard, and holy cow, am I caught off guard on what I'm seeing now at the local dealerships by me. Let me show you what I mean. You guys are familiar with this lot. Do a lot of reviews up here at Bob Maxxey. Nice dealership. These guys have been really active on keeping inventory pretty low. And I was just here the other day, and holy cow, has the inventory blown up. And I thought, well, maybe some of this is, dealer trades and this not and whatnot. Most of these are almost all 2026s at this point. I'm kind of impressed they're getting this many out. We got all the way from Platinums, XLTs, low-end XLTs, higher-end XLTs, King Ranches, Lariat, XL. Here's an Argon Blue. Man, that is a cool color. A lot of people really digging that. We got another XLT. You can tell XLT, lower end trim. By the way, what do you guys think? Premium XLT, lower end. I think that one looks better. And then we got this really sweet looking Platinum Superduty F-350. This is a really, really nice looking setup. It kind of always surprises me when I see, man, that truck sounds good. It always surprises me when I see a truck like this loaded out and they didn't do the high output diesel. Not that it's not a good motor, but it's like you're spending all that money. I'm surprised they didn't want that. But this is not the highest level Platinum Ultimate. You can tell because the applique is different. Regardless, here we are. Now, if you guys recall, about a year ago, this entire dealership lot was filled with Super Duties. Back here, both these rows, something like 85 Super Duties. And then we watched the market dwindle down to like 4 trucks, 2 trucks. Now here we are, here in October 2025, and they've almost got an entire row back again of Super Duties. And this was literally not here like a week ago, which is good for people that are looking for lots of different colors. But I'm still kind of shocked we're seeing this many trucks and the variety. It's not just low-level trucks. It's not higher-level trucks. It is across the board. I've seen 6.8s. Here's a 6.7 standard output, 6.8, 6.8, 7.3, nope, Power Stroke 6.7, high output. By the way, here you go. Here's high output versus standard output right next to each other. But Lariats, XLTs, King Ranch. Let's take a guess, you guys. We got an F-350 high output, King Ranch. There's one change I'd like to see in this truck in the future. I'd like to see the projector LED headlights, not the reflector LEDs. I think that'd be a really cool feature to distinguish from the Lariat. But take a guess on what you think the price is at. F-350 high output, $99,945. Now, we're gonna go to this Lariat right here, and I can tell immediately it's not a Lariat Ultimate, and it's not a high output. I think we're gonna see at least a $10,000, if not a $15,000 price difference. But given the fact it's a Lariat, not high output, not Ultimate, probably more than a 15 grand less than the King Ranch. But then right next to it, $81,000 for an XLT. So you got 81,000 bucks for an XLT, $100,000 for a King Ranch. And here we do have Lariat 350 standard output, 85,000. So yeah, there's some proof. So you got 100,000, 81,000, 85,000. This is probably 60,000. It's another $60,000 truck. And then you got this bad boy. Got a video on this we just did recently. Platinum F-450 high output. This is just about, I don't think there's like only 1 or 2 small options you can get left on this truck, but an F-450 Platinum, pretty much every single option. It's even got the Ford accessory hitch in the back. It just doesn't have spray and bed liner. Look at the price, guys, $113,000. So this is pretty loaded out. Given the prices we've seen $113,000 trucks, I'm not surprised we're starting to see inventory pick up. The question will be, people have been talking, lots of channels have been talking about 30, 35% off discounts. If we come to reality, is even 30 or 35% enough when you think about this? 35% off 113 is what, 40,000 off? Dude, that's still a $70,000 pickup. That's a lot of money. But anyhow, the supply is picking up, and I'm hoping this leads to better deals for all you guys watching the channel. I'd be curious. Let me know where you guys are from and what you're seeing, because I have not seen this in my local area in almost a year of inventory this high. And most of these are 26s. So the fact they're already catching up on 26 orders tells me they've seen a slowdown. The other thing is, we haven't had a chance to talk about this much on the video, but there's the supplier, I think it's Novelis or Novelis. They're a big aluminum supplier for Ford. They've had a plant fire and they're saying it's going to impact production. I'm wondering if they're starting to focus on trying to get some of these on the dealership lots while this fire impacts some of the supply for the F-Series. I've been hearing some things about them switching away, maybe producing the F-150 Lariat or the Lightning. That'll be interesting. The other thing, I think it's interesting timing on this. I've been watching what Ford is doing for 26 model year trucks. Let me give you an example. The fact we're seeing this dealership lot like this, where would they potentially have a big advantage right now against Ram Heavy Duty? Ram Heavy Duties are made in Mexico today. And as it stands, the tariffs are so high on those trucks, I think this is gonna really kill the Ram Heavy Duty, because the tariff situation is gonna have such a big impact on the landed price. Ford could be sitting in a great spot to pick up customers on the heavy duty segment. Whereas the opposite is happening in the half-ton segment, where actually both the Ram and the Ford are both made in Michigan in the half-ton, 1500s and 150s. But we're seeing Ram taking a lot of market share because they've been pretty aggressive on their pricing the last 6 months or so. But I'll be curious. Like I said, leave your comments down below. I haven't seen inventory like this in a while, and if you guys are interested in these trucks, I'll put the dealer information down below. Josh has been good to me, and he's been great to our family as far as vehicles, even before the YouTube channel. We've liked working with these guys. So to add a little bit more context, I've been watching the F-150 situation. I know lots of dealerships have been talking about F-150 inventory going up, but in full fairness, just like a week or so ago, this whole aisle was filled up. So they don't have as many 150s as I kind of thought. They got a lot of Bronco Sports and stuff right now. Some Mavericks, but not a ton. But I know that the Escape going away, I still can't wrap my mind around Ford getting rid of the Escape. It seemed like this affordable vehicle for people to drive, and I guess they're going to replace the Escape with the Bronco Sport. I don't know. Doesn't totally make sense to me, because this is affordable and a lot of people really like it. Okay amount of inventory for F-150, and they got a handful of F-150s over here as well. But as another example, this is a Lariat Power Boost 25. You can tell it's fairly loaded. I see heads-up display. Take a guess, guys. Power Boost Lariat, nice looking truck, $71,880. So we're almost talking $72,000 for an F-150. Now this, I think, if you're gonna order a Lariat, I think this is the way to do it. The blacked out wheels, I think this combo looks really sweet. These 22s on it look nice. It's got the modernized front end. I've wondered too, what do you guys think about they getting rid of the blue oval and going to the black oval badge? I don't know, it's kind of breaking tradition. But see, pricing on this thing, $74,790. Dude, that's a ton of money for a truck that is not even an off-road inspired truck. I mean, I just think that you can get a base level RHO for like 3,000 bucks less than that, and that doesn't include the discounts that dealers are offering. So that's a lot of money to me. So this leads me into my next point. Average new car prices, they're out of control high. And we're seeing it more in the truck market. Why? Because truck prices are more expensive to start, but then they're gonna see even a bigger impact from a dollar standpoint, because percentage versus the standard transaction is so much higher. I mean, if the average transaction right now is at $50,000, and average pickup truck is $65,000, $70,000, you could see why the percentage is so much higher. But here's a little chart index that shows over the last 13 years. We go all the way back to 2012, and we're at like $32,000 versus today, $50,000. That's a 50% increase over the last 13 years. Median household income, $80,000 in 2025. Spending 76% of their income on a new car. This is out of sight. I think this chart right here should show you guys something. The average new price historical growth versus inflation. Now, this was only out until 2022. I wish this was an updated chart, because I think we'd see even a bigger spread. But you really start seeing the separation around 2015. And then you continue to see, like, here's a dip in 2017, it flattens out. And you start seeing this go down and the gap is starting to widen. And then in 2020, COVID, this just blew this up even more. I'd like to see this extend even into 2025. Obviously, the vehicle prices are outpacing inflation. So what does that tell us? Are the car manufacturers greedy, or is there something else going on that's driving the separation of the average new car price versus inflation? You could look at this one of a few ways. You could say, well, people are wanting more premium content in vehicles, which is raising the price. You could also say people are out earning what inflation is, so they're wanting more expensive vehicles. Or are we seeing an impact on the cost of goods for the manufacturers that is forcing the production of the vehicle pricing to disconnect from reality of inflation even more? And then here's some data looking at car prices, new, used, trade-in. Also, check out this gap, guys. If this is true, that's a big gap between used and trade-in. That's a 20% gap, and this is why you should always do your homework when you trade a vehicle in. Let's look at some used car pricing index, and you can kind of see this trend. I like to look at this and just kind of see where's the market at in, let's say, the last few months. Let's go July 1st right now to today. This is the used car price. We saw a big bump up between August and October. You can kind of see pricing was going up, and now it's dropping down. I think what we're seeing here was this was a dip in manufacturing. The prices were going up, inflation was going up, so car production went down for just a minute. So then it started driving up the used car pricing. And then now what do we see? The opposite. Car manufacturing is picking back up. They're producing. Demand is dropping. Thus, used car prices are changing. But what does the rest of the market look like here? If we go nationwide and look at Ford F-150s, 250, 350, and chassis cab, all brand new, there's 146,000 of these vehicles available at the time of doing this video. But how does that compare to their competition? We did the exact same thing from Chevrolet, exact same models selected, and we've got 85,000. So we got 146,000 for Ford, 85,000 for Chevrolet, 64,000 for GMC. So 64,000 for GMC and 85,000, put that combined, what is that, 150,000 versus Ford's 146? That's a lot of vehicles, but how's that compare to Ram? Ram's sitting at 84,000. So Ram and Chevrolet have equal amount of inventory across their lineups. And I'm just going to show you, selected the same vehicles. Look at Toyota. Toyota's got 11,000 Tundras. How does that compare to the Ram 1500? Ram's got 46,000. Sierra's got 41,000. Chevrolet's got 56,000. And Ford's got 84,000. And this brings me back, guys, to why I'm most concerned for Ford in their inventory situation. Their pricing is the most disconnected from reality, in my opinion. I like Ford vehicles. You guys know, you watch my channel. I'm a Ford fanboy to a degree. But I've really noticed the last few years, the value is just not making sense versus what their competition. And it's not just me, because inventory is showing it. They've got the most in the industry right now. And even Ram has half the amount of inventory. Actually, Ram is sitting in almost the best space right now, besides GMC, but GMC puts out a lot less volume than Ram. And then actually, in full fairness, Toyota's sitting in the best place because of how they control their inventory, and you can't just go order vehicles, but they also sell the smallest amount of their trucks compared to the others. Anyhow, I'll be curious to get your guys' thoughts. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Thanks for watching.